So the United States debt, it's currently sitting at 35.98 trillion. Like I keep saying, it's getting out of control and there is no stopping it. The United States debt has never been this bad, and interest just keeps accumulating every day, every week, every month, every year. Personally, I think by 2028 we're going to see a big collapse. It kind of falls in with the presidential election as well, right? So Trump just got elected, say 2028, the end of 2028, around that time, maybe even a little before, we will see a collapse. And I'm here to tell you why. So the United States debt, like I said, it's currently at 35.98 trillion, right? And their interest is at 1 trillion. And most of the things that they're paying for are things that most of us, we rely on. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. Can't really say I rely on the defense budget too much. I'm 31 years old, never really been attacked on U.S. soil besides the World Trade Centers, right? That was really the only time where I was alive that we had got attacked, right? Most of the people doing the attacking are the United States citizens, so I'm a little more scared of them than I am of foreign countries at this point. But let me get back to what I'm talking about. The United States debt, it's going to keep accumulating interest, and eventually it's going to get to a point that we are paying more interest than our revenue can bring in. Really, you won't even have to get to that point because we're always going to have to allocate our revenue to something, right? Like I said, our big four are Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the defense war budget, and then the interest rate. But the interest rate is something that is forced to be paid. So let's say in a couple years, I've already done the calculations, but by 2028, the interest rate is going to be at 4 trillion at the least. Yeah, 4 trillion. United States is only making 5 trillion, right? And you still have to allocate the other 2.53 trillion for Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and the defense war budget, right? So what are they going to cut in the next 4 years? Are they going to raise our taxes? Most likely. But are they going to be able to raise it so high that we can actually afford to maintain their minimum balance that they owe? Because that's what they're doing. They're just paying their minimum balance like on a credit card, and the credit card's interest is just accumulating more and more because, when you just pay a minimum balance, usually an interest rate, when it's so high, the United States interest rate, I believe, is they're basically 128%, maybe even more, right? They are overspending, and their interest rate is just accumulating higher and higher. So at the end of the day, they are spending 1.3 times more than they have, and that's currently at the moment. So imagine in 4 years, right? They're spending 130% more than what they have. So they're spending 100% of their income plus 30% right now. What's going to happen by 2028? I've already done the math. The interest rate's going to be at 4 trillion easily. So that's going to lead to a collapse. And if it comes before that, I'm sorry. My calculations might have been a little off. But I can almost guarantee, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not really anybody. I just work a normal 9 to 5 and go home and chill out with my kids or play video games, right? But I also do other things. I do a lot of research. And there's one thing I've always been good at, and it's been finances. Always. And I can tell the United States finances are not sustainable. They don't even have finances. We, us taxpayers, we are their finances. The blood, the bones, the sweat, the tears, the skin on your face. You're the lifeblood of the economy. But yet the United States just push us around, and they treat us like we're dirt, like we owe them something. But when you look at the United States debt, who's the real person that owes? They do. They put us in this situation. If anything, they owe us. We've been working our lives to help them. If it wasn't for them, we would actually be able to afford things. Probably 70% of us would have houses. You know, the reason why we don't have houses is because the United States is in debt. They have to mark up the prices on everything so high to make it even a fraction of what it's worth. So like I said, the debt, 35.98 trillion. I'm gonna keep doing daily videos. I've also been doing videos on what to invest in. Personally, I say gold and silver and other precious metals because they're being mined. And eventually they go up in price, just like everything else. I mean, if you're able to invest in like a house or something like that, I mean, go ahead. But at the same time, you always have to maintain a house. You don't have to maintain gold. Silver, I mean, really, you just have to make sure it doesn't oxidize. And at the end of the day, it's still silver, so it'll always sell, right? And other materials like that, precious metals, they, as long as you take care of them, they will last forever. So imagine having 100 ounces of silver, an ounce of gold, a couple ounces of copper, some zinc, some titanium, some palladium, some platinum, like just a couple ounces of each, you know, as much as you can, right? You just say you have a good sack and you give that away to your future generations, someone in your family, someone that you really care about, 20, 30, 40, 50, however long you want to save it. I mean, just look at 50 years ago. Imagine if they saved all the stuff from 50 years ago and gave it to you now, you know? Just think about it like that. Do you want stuff to be done, or do you want it to keep ending up like how we have it? You have to change it now. I mean, if you don't, it's just going to keep repeating the cycle and everybody's just going to push it off to the next generation. We're the ones that have to make sure that we take care of the next generation, because our generation before us had a lot of plans. They had a lot of plans. They had good plans too. My family, my mom, my dad, they had good plans. But at the end of the day, things didn't work out the way they planned them, because the way they were living their lives, they thought money was going to be there forever, that things were going to stay at that price forever, to where you can go and afford things on a minimum wage job. And if you had something a little better, well, you're really living good, right? Well, most of us have jobs that are paying a lot more than minimum wage, and we're not really living that good, you know? Like, I look at my budget and the things I'm spending monthly, and it's not really anything over the top. Like, yeah, I buy silver every once in a while, or I'll go out to eat, or maybe the arcade. I'll take my son to the arcade. But it's not like I'm going on trips, not going on vacations. I'm not doing any cruises. I'm not going to any fancy restaurants, really. You know, we just go to the normal local restaurants every once in a while, maybe once a week. We're not really, I'm not spending that much money, and yet at the same time, it seems like I don't have any. And like I said, I'm really good with my finances. I don't really spend money like that. So for me to have a problem spending money, there's a problem, you know. I've went through my whole life always being able to save money, because I live like a minimalist. Anyway, I think I've done enough ranting. We're just gonna end this with this conclusion. Do some investing. Invest in yourself. Invest in something that will make you money in the future. Because if you only do things that make you money now, well, they're never really gonna end up making you money later, unless it's set up to make you money later. You know, most things that make money right away don't continue to make money, you know, and then things that make money gradually usually end up making money for a long time, like Google, things like that. So just hang in there, you know. Everyone's doing a little different than what they expected, right? But you hang in there, and things will end up getting better. Things will go down in price. Other things that hopefully you invested in go up in price, and hopefully you can find that balance. Anyway, hope everybody has a good time and a good night. Later.